Hi, I'm Kevin, and welcome back to 5 9 Wrenches. Today I want to talk about some things that I've been thinking about in preparation for attacking this truck project. And there are 4 things that kind of kept me from starting my project that may also impact some of you as well. I know they did for me. I was sitting on the sideline for years, and some of these things might be helpful to someone watching this video for any project they're doing. So let's start off by talking about analysis paralysis. There is an infinite learning loop that we all tend to get into. We have amazing access to a lot of information about these old cars, about these old trucks. There are tons of YouTube videos, and we can get sucked into that. We go on YouTube and we watch video after video after video. We're scouring the internet for information about our particular vehicle, our car, our truck, whatever it is we're working on. And we're super excited. But it's easy to get caught in that trap. It's easy to focus just on the research portion of it. There's also the tendency to push off starting because you don't feel like you know enough. You feel like an imposter. It's called imposter syndrome. If you have imposter syndrome, that means that you're smart enough to know that you don't know everything. That doesn't mean you can't start. What we need to do is just label it what it is. It's procrastination. It's easier for me to sit on the couch, flip through YouTube channels, watching other people's car builds than to build my own. So that kind of kept me on the sidelines. So the other thing that you often run into is overthinking what you need to complete a project. I know I do. I do it all the time. It's easy to fall into the trap of the next shiny thing, that tool, that garage, that thing that you need in order to get started on the big project. You generally don't need any of that. But I find myself looking at, well, yeah, I need a 12-ton shop press. Do I need a 12-ton shop press? Probably not. Do I need a paint booth to paint my truck? Probably not. It's not going to be a show truck. It's not going to be something to win awards, something that I'm going to enjoy. So you can get by with a lot less than you think you need. But if you watch other videos and look at other resources, it will tell you, well, you might as well not do it if you don't have a paint booth and you're not using a DeVilbiss gun or, the Demon Sprayer 2000 and you don't have a 60-gallon air compressor. It's easy to fall into that trap. Don't fall into that trap. There are too many cool cars and trucks out there that were built in garages in the early days and even today that they don't have access to those tools. So get out there and build something. The key to avoiding analysis paralysis is, like I said, just start. Get out there and do something. The other thing is not knowing where to start. Sometimes starting is just as simple as walking out in the garage and organizing things. And then you'll get inspired. If you kind of make space to do what you need to do, then that will motivate you to start working on your truck or car. It's hard to work on a truck if there is disorder and chaos everywhere surrounding you as far as your environment is concerned. So organize your tools, put them back when you're done with them. That goes a long way to being able to avoid the, oh hell, where'd I put that 10mm socket? It's back where it belongs. So let's talk a little bit about unrealistic expectations. YouTube is a valuable resource. Take the builds on there for inspiration. That's what they are. But if you're like most of us, you work for a living, you have a budget, you don't have infinite resources, infinite time, or infinite money. The money printing machine just isn't there in my house. So you make time to build as you can. There's no need to break the bank in order to build these cars and trucks and have something really cool at the end of the day. You can fall into that mega build trap. Mega builds, as I define them, are those resto mod trucks and cars that people with very deep pockets or own shops are building. And again, those are phenomenal vehicles, and I love every one of them, and I enjoy watching them display and work on those trucks and cars. But at the end of the day, most of us are just average Joes in a garage, kind of working on what we have. I will also say that there are some channels that will take a rust bucket. They will go out in the woods and find a 32 Ford that is basically a rusted out shell, or they'll find some other Mopar muscle car, or a Mustang that's been sitting in a field for decades, and the only thing left to it is the roof. And they'll bring that back to life, and that's an amazing thing to watch, and that's an amazing thing to enjoy. I think that you have to be realistic with your capabilities. Am I the one that can go through and rebuild an entire subframe? Am I the one that can straighten a car out that's crooked? Do I have the resources to do that? Do I have access to the tools to do that? No, I don't. So don't fall into that mega build trap. If you're just starting out, it can be daunting. It's like, yeah, I need to do a 1,000 horsepower LS swap into my car. I need to do a complete gutting of the electrical system and start with a chassis from the ground up to have the ultimate vehicle. That's not the case. I think it's easier to get a running vehicle and have that vehicle set up to where you can enjoy it as you build it. I think that's very important to remember. The non-running build, those are amazing. It's hard to do. And if you get a vehicle out of a barn or a field somewhere, just know that it's going to take a lot of time, money, and resources to get that to a point where you can even drive it. It's difficult to even get to a point where you can sit in it, let alone drive it. And if it's missing pieces, and if they are rare pieces, it's just going to be hard on you. I also don't think that any of those cars or trucks should be, if you want to go back to 100% stock. I love the restoration videos. I love things that are kept 100% original. But there's nothing wrong with changing things up and modifying them and make them custom, especially if nothing is available for that vehicle. Chevy, you have a ton of stuff available for you in the aftermarket. Dodge, not so much. Either you work with the very limited Dodge resources that I have, or I work with modifying things, so that way I can, modify this truck and have it, set up the way that I want it. You can get a truck like this, an old car that's running, that you can build upon. But you're inundated with all these builds. So yeah, I got sucked into that. Now I'm saying that YouTube is a great place for inspiration. You can see these $1 million builds. You can see these shops that are doing it full time, and that's awesome. Those cars are amazing, and I'm glad they're in this world. But is there a way that I can take those ideas, applying to my truck, and apply those in a manner that doesn't destroy my budget? Always consider the resources that you have. Consider your resources. Time. Unless you own a shop, or unless you are in the industry where you have access to be able to work on your project vehicle as a full-time job, you're like me, you're like the rest of us. Everybody has a job, everybody has family obligations. We all have to balance those. And so one thing I'll say about time is that often you have to make time. I am a firm believer family comes first, and you can't tackle a project like this without family support. Getting that family buy-in, getting their support, but not forcing it on them is key. But at the end of the day, you have family obligations. You have time that you have to devote to your family. If you have to get up at 5 in the morning, come out and piddle around in the garage, then that's what you have to do. If you have to wait till the kids go to bed to go out into the garage or go out into the driveway and mess with it, that's what you have to do. But keep in mind that family comes first. The other thing that impacts a lot of these builds is money. This hobby can be expensive or not. Depends on you. It's easy to fall into that mega build trap. The way that things are going today is, people will tell you, well, it's just an old car. You don't have a specialized autocross chassis with coilovers. You didn't build it from the ground up. That's definitely not true. I haven't been to a car event yet where you didn't have average Joe builds out there that are amazing, and they've done some amazing things to customize their vehicles with parts that were cannibalized from other cars, other brands, other common products or common parts, and customizing them or adding to a vehicle that didn't originally have them on there. I think that is super cool. I think it's cooler than off-the-shelf parts every day. And you'll learn how to modify things, and your fabrication skills will increase, and you'll have more motivation to finish your build. I think that's super important. I think it's the roots of the hot rod and car community, custom car community. That is what we need more of today. Depends on what you want to do, what your end goals are. But the money that you spend on these, I don't think you should, have to eat ramen noodles unless you want to. But also don't inflict that upon others. So don't spend money you don't have, I guess, is basically what I'm saying. And make sure that you're meeting your family obligations. Doing a project like this, I'm gonna preface this. Doing a project like this, you kind of have to be a little bit selfish and carve out that time. This is the time that I'm gonna go out in the garage and I'm gonna work. If you can get your family to join you on that, 100%, that's great. Don't force them to come out and get you tools and hold wrenches and things like that. I think that having a family involved in the build is a huge deal. The other thing, as far as time goes, is project ADD. If you get hung up on a part of the project that you've been working on, you don't have the right part, something is broken that you didn't anticipate, you need to order something. So you go in online, you order your part. It's not going to be here for a week, right? Does that mean you have to stop? No. Does that mean that you can do smaller projects to set you up for success? Yeah, all day long. During the HVAC restoration on this truck, I had to order a special part for the blend door actuator. I had to get some other things in place as far as the dash was concerned. So while I was waiting for that, I was doing other things like cleaning out the air box. I was doing kind of all those random small things to get me ready for when those parts arrive, I can start jamming and putting things back together. And so I think that's important. What some folks will do is they'll do a little bit here, they'll do a little bit there, they'll go and, mess with something else. If you do that, you're setting yourself up for failure because, one, you won't remember where you left off on the last project. You're not getting anything accomplished. Speaking of family support, my wife says one major project at a time. And at first I kind of chuckled and laughed about that because she knows me. She knows that I want to do it all and I want to do it all right now. She's 100% right. Thanks, hon. So one project at a time, finish that one, move on. So have a general plan, but don't get project ADD and try to stay focused on these are the next things I need to do. What do I need to accomplish those things? So it's just 4 things that I've been thinking about offhand as far as this project's concerned. And I thought maybe this might be helpful for someone thinking about starting a car or truck project or any project for that matter. I do think that keeping those things in mind will help you toward finishing a project and having something you can be proud of. At the end of the day, it's your project. Do what you want to do. I'm just some guy in a garage doing car and truck things and maybe some motorcycles here and there. But so that's all I have. And good luck to you on your endeavors and your projects. I hope you'll stick with me as we move forward on this project. I'm glad to have you here and thank you for following. Please like and subscribe.